In the next 21 seconds, you are going to find out the one thing that a pro soccer player turned running coach thinks that all runners should do that they do not. And we'll be talking about this while we both go for an easy run. That's foreshadowing. I got Greg here, Greg Pearson. I'd say me and him are contrarian type content creators. We don't post the garbage. We post the stuff that people need to hear that they don't want to hear. And what is one thing that runners should do that they don't? What's the one thing?
Just running too fast most of the time, which is, I feel like it's a common thing to say. But you know, it's so important because it's going to help with, if you consider your whole, you know, weekly schedule from work commitments to your family commitments to socials, maybe going out on a Friday night with your friends, but you're also training on top of that. The fitness you gain is in the recovery, right? It's not in all the training you do. You do all the training you want, but if you've got terrible sleep, you're not fueling right, you're not hydrating properly, you're gonna burn out, you might pick up some injuries, etc. When you're running most of your runs easy, you give your body that opportunity to, one, physiologically develop in the way it needs to, mitochondrial density, capillary density, etc. So building a big aerobic capacity. You put the miles in your legs, so there's that impact element that you're getting from your running, but it's sustainable. It's not like if you went out and did 4 or 5 interval runs a week, you'd be cooked after at least, I'd say 2 or 3 max. So keeping it easy allows your body to recover from those bigger sessions, to gain more time on feet, more miles on a weekly basis without overdoing it, without picking up those injuries, burning out, etc. Which I know is hard to kind of understand or visualize initially, because you think, oh no, I can just keep going, but trust me, eventually you will come up against some kind of ache, pain, whatever, plateau with your training. It's just a fundamental component of your training is running easy most of the time, sprinkling that with a bit of speed, depending on your ability level, so many different factors. It's really important to consider that easy running is your fundamental practice on a weekly basis. As tedious as that may be, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
The next point is, which is not a sexy one at all, is being patient with your training.
Being patient with your training.
Yeah.
Patience, that's another one. It's another pillar of the 1% better runner. Future Darren here, and I won't do that thing. You know the thing where people go, hey, you should subscribe, rate, share, give a thumbs up, rah, rah, rah. Now, while I'd love for you to do that anyways, please go ahead and do it. The next steps will be for you to transform your running life with our free 1% Better Runner 30-day base training habits plan and newsletter. Unlike other running plans and newsletters, we do not do motivational quick fixes and hacks. Instead, we focus on long-term success that lasts from 30 days to 30 years and more. It's not just a training plan, but a mental shift. Think of it as your personal running therapist. Sign up for free at either dlateCreates.com/news, web search 1% Better Runner newsletter, or get the link in the show notes or video description below. All value, no fluff, cancel anytime. Let's get back into it.
And it actually ties into the previous point I just spoke about, because if you're wanting to go after a big goal, you can't just expect that your body's going to react and adapt in a way that is positive for you if you're not doing the right things on a weekly basis. Easy running, speed work, incremental increases in volume, in intensity. That there's a process to it and a bit of a blueprint and a pathway to get there. And it's really easy to think, oh no, I just want to be faster. I'm just going to do an interval workout instead of that easy run. That's what I need to do. I need to run fast. Well, no, if you just give yourself the time to reach that marathon in 4 months, 5 months even for many athletes, you'll be in such a better position and stronger position with your running long term compared to if you're trying to just smash it out in 10 weeks and not achieving the goal that you want, putting your body under so much more pressure, picking up injuries, setting you back for 3 weeks. Mentally, that's disruptive. You feel down because you've got injured. Like, so important. There's so many things to think about as a coach when you're programming training for an individual, and as you work with more and more people, you get to know, this person, who are all awesome, by the way, just for clarity, but I know this person likes to run that little bit faster on their easy runs every single week, regardless of what I say.
We all know that person.
But then there's the athletes that are super diligent, like, yeah, easy run here, intervals here, tempo there. The intensity is spot on every single week. But there's obviously bridge that gap with everybody else as well. There's so many different people that work in different ways, and you've got to keep hammering home the patience aspect. Okay, you're here now, but look where you could be in 4, 5, 6 months' time. So you've just got to stick with it and be diligent with your training. Don't worry about trying to be where you want to be in 24 hours. Let's just progress to it, nice and steady.
Beautifully said, man. And that's like the core pillars of the 1% better runner that I made up. And yes, they are still true though. Patience, belief, and consistency. So those you touched 2 of those, if not all 3,
yep,
on that little, I wouldn't even call it a rant, that nice little preachy in a good way session, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Nice.
If you want to find out more about what we talked about in this last episode that you just listened to or watched, go to this next video right here.